Oh yeah, look at this snow, baby. Nothing like making a video in the snow on the moto track. Something beautiful about snow on the moto track, I gotta admit. So, I had a lot of comments from a video I put out. If you haven't watched that, scroll on my page, and a lot of people DMing me saying, dude, you did that video about going too far and you could crash, and you gotta learn what's too far in moto by going too far. Well, isn't that kind of telling us to crash? I got all kinds of shit, right? But here's the thing, people. This is what they mean by slow down to go faster. No one gets this. It's like a contradiction in a way. But to slow down to go faster means to slow down, dial in your technique. Pretty simple. And once you dial in your technique, man, you can take this moto game to all kinds of new freaking levels through what I call my 8 fundamentals. There's fundamentals in this game just like any other sport. If you join hockey, UFC tomorrow, you wouldn't jump in the ring and fight even a low-level guy. Yeah, you might. I might do that too, just for shits and giggles. But if you're serious, and you are just a little bit serious, you would go get a coach and learn the fundamentals. Moto? Moto? No, what do we do in moto? Oh, we just go to a local dirt bike shop, we buy a bike, and head with our buddy right to the track. Rip the bike off the back of the truck, flip, ride around the track, go, God, I kind of, your buddy's like, dude, you look good, man. No, you look like a spode. You don't look good at all. I promise you. Especially, that's a whole different video. Anyhow, if you want to get good, though, you got to learn my 8 fundamentals. If you want the 8 fundamentals, it's the building blocks for flow, the foundation. Drop 8 fundamentals below, or just drop flow. I'll send you that over. You start there, and I'm telling you, your results will go through the roof. But one of the things you can do, and the thing I got some backlash on, is this going too far. How do you know it's too far in moto? By going too far. And what happens by slowing down and pushing the limits of what you're doing. Now, there's a whole bunch of different things in this. We got all kinds of things on a motocross track. We got straightaways, we got ruts and straightaways, we got jumps, we got breaker bumps, we got whoops, we got braking zones, we got throttles. There's only 2 things in moto that you have, and everybody has the 2 same things. You have the 8 fundamentals, which are your body position. You have the 5 controls: your front brake, your rear brake 2, your clutch 3, your throttle 4, and your shifter 5. That's all you got. Everybody's got the same thing. And what you have to do is learn how to time and blend these 2 controls together, your body position and you got a third thing too. You have the forces from the track. The forces that this track give you right here coming up through the bike. And then you have to learn how to dial them in through proper braking, proper throttling, proper braking through both your brakes, shifting and clutching, and then timing of your movements in the correct body position with regards and timing to the forces that are coming through the bike. Coming down through here, braking zone, entering corner, you're going to brake. You got to go to the back of the bike. It's a new center of balance, depending on how big the braking bump's in, depending how big of a downhill it is. It's all kinds of options. These tracks, what's beautiful about this is, and what I love, is it's all changing. This thing's a puzzle that you have to figure out, right? I'm going off a little bit out here, so I'm going to back it up. And what I mean by all that, though, is the point I'm trying to get across, and people were asking me questions about, is going too far. So, for example, going too far into this braking zone is you got to start to learn, okay, if I come off that jump right up there, I land, and the first thing we want to do is get on throttle. I get on throttle. Where does it start my braking zone? Where I start to brake, and when I brake, I still keep control and am able to lay it over in this corner, get into a lean angle, which is motocross is a game of lean angles, and then roll the throttle on very precisely and roll back out of here with smoothness. Smoothness is the name of the game. These amateurs you see coming down here, locking up the rear wheel, sliding, they actually get kind of fast at this. They'll fool you. They slam their bike into that corner, then they power out. Nope, not the name of the game. My lap times don't lie. They don't lie. And I've taken thousands of lap times on this track and many other tracks across the whole country. Brake early for success. And this is how you learn. But you have to learn, where is that? Where is that for this corner right here? Now it's going to change for every damn corner. And how are you able to pick this up very quickly so you can show up at any motocross track instead of the one you ride every fucking weekend and you get good at it with bad habits, but still a guy like me at 52 years old could show up and smoke you? Because you have to get into different environments, different tracks. You have to then test these theories of going into corners, because it's the name of the game, What is too far? Okay, I was braking. And I lost control entering the apex of the corner, and then it threw it. Listen, what you do here determines what happens out here in the exit decks. This is the entrance decks, and what you do here determines the speed on the exit decks. If it's smooth here, can you still screw it up out there a little bit? Yes, but the likelihood of it being much better in the exit decks is that it goes through the roof. So you play with that braking zone for just this one corner. Just this one corner, and you push what's too far in small increments. Then you increase the speed until it becomes sketchy, and then you back it up a little bit, and then you know. Now this becomes what becomes awareness and reflex reaction. Now this seems, I'm talking about this like it takes a long fucking time, but it doesn't. If you start to work this, your brain picks it up pretty quickly, and then if you work one corner, it's easier to apply to the other corners then, because your brain picks up a system that kind of knows where to do this stuff. I hope this is making sense. I know I'm just shooting a video that's just showing a picture of a track. I actually am going, of a corner, a track with a corner. I know I'm going off a little bit. I was going to talk about lean angles here, and that's the other thing. That's just one part of braking you can play with, and I will. The video I made before was about lean angles, and people were like, how do you figure out what's too far in lean angles? Because motocross is a game of lean angles, right? So after you're done braking, your bike's going to be perpendicular because you want to do the hardest braking while your bike is up, straight up and down, but you have to start to throw the lean angle. Now, you want to be coming off that braking as you're throwing the lean out, especially the back brake. You can stay on the front a little bit more, but you want to set the lean angle up early because motocross, I said in that video, is a game of anticipation. You anticipate what's coming next, right? And that's in many different things. That's simply when you show up in the morning at the track, even if you know the track like the back of your hand, these kids today won't walk tracks anymore. I'm like, what the hell are you kids doing? Walk the track. That's the first step to anticipate how that day is going to come. I know they're going to till it. Things can happen. But you can see things when you walk the track that you haven't seen when you just jump out there and ride. So anyhow, that's the first part of anticipation. The other part of anticipation is if you show up at a track you don't know, walk the track and make a memory of it in your head. You want to increase speed? Holy shit, you will increase so much speed. If you can go back to your pit, run through your head a visual of that track, help you tremendously. All right, back to it. That's anticipation. But how do you push lean angles into corners? How do you find out what's too far? Can you lean it too far? Absolutely. But that's all depending on a couple things. How fast you're going from your last obstacle. How you time throttle with the lean angle. You got to meet a lean angle with throttle. So you can't be braking hard, right? So as you come in, this is why you have to slow down. So you slow down and you take it in increments and you start to throw a lean angle. When you throw this lean angle, you match it with throttle and you go, okay, that felt pretty good. Let me go a little bit farther. Let me go. Now you do this at slow speeds. And when you do this at slow speeds, you start to build the confidence in increments, right? And next thing you know, you're coming down and let me back up. And sometimes you might at these slow speeds lean it too far and go, holy shit, I missed weighting the outside peg perfectly. I wasn't counterbalancing it. I didn't meet the throttle exactly right. And yes, I fell over coming into this corner. Okay, now you know what was too far for the speed, for the timing of throttle, for the braking you applied. See, people think there's this easy shit to moto. It's not. When you dial this shit in, this is how you get precise with this. And what drills can you do? This is one of the biggest drills you could do to help you with corners. It's called the rock and roll drill. Literally just set up cones. You don't even need cones. Like you come down through this track, literally set lean angles in the straightaway. Just rock the bike back and forth how do you rock a bike back and forth? 2 ways. Through the balls of your feet by pressing on the pegs, by pushing by pushing your knee opposite. If you push on the right foot peg, push the left knee into the tank. And by the right hand, palm of the hand, pushing on the handlebar. Now rock this bike back and forth. I'm telling you, this drill alone, when I run it with my students, takes their confidence through the roof. Do this around the whole track. Rock and roll this thing up the face of jumps. I could say something there. Why? Because the first part to a scrub, if you don't know how to scrub, is leaning on the face of a jump. You have to throw a lean angle on the face of a jump, a right or left lean angle. There's more tips to that. If you want to learn how to do a scrub, drop scrub below and I'll send you a PDF that shows you exact techniques to start practicing a scrub. But if you don't, the first step to a scrub is you have to, up the face of a jump, throw a lean angle like you're in a rut. And that's scary for people. So how are you going to learn if you don't learn to rock and roll and find out what's too far on your bike by leaning your bike left and right? How are you going to even start to throw the lean angle on the face of a jump? It's going to scare the living shit out of you. And you're going to get stuck. This happens so much in moto in what we call the ruts. The ruts, get it? Your mental ruts, where you just come down here, you've gotten so used to braking a certain way, leaning just a certain way, and you don't know how to take it farther than that. And so you just go to your natural habits, and that creates that speed you're at, right? And that's your speed, and you can't break through it because you've been riding like that for so damn long. So what you have to do, this long ass video I'm going through, and I hope this is valuable for you, is slow down to go faster by breaking down, slowing down, and pushing the limits of what's too far and what works in anticipation and timing through lean angles, through braking. They're your big ones, and through throttle control. If you want to practice 3 of them, first get lean angles down, because it's a game of lean angles. And if you can really push this bike left and right by timing throttle with that, as you push it right, you're coming down through here, but the way I said earlier, and you push that bike right, match it with a little brut. Brut, back and forth, left and right, brut. It's so important. That'll teach you then how to apply throttle at the right timing in corners. Now, when you get real comfortable with that, then start playing with braking. Entering in to keep it smooth. Brake early. It might not feel as fast, but I'm telling you, if your buddy takes lap times, it's faster. And the entrance deck speed determines the exit deck speed. All right? Now, when you get this dialed in, and then push them lean angles, push that braking, and time that throttle with good, smooth throttle control out, some clutch-fed braps. That's a different video. This is going long enough. Drop clutch-fed braps, and I'll send you a free training on that. Now, as you apply that to the one corner like this corner here, now start to take what you learned from reflex reaction, increase the speed with that, and your speed will increase quickly, and you'll feel comfortable, and start to apply that for every other corner you have in the track. The next thing you know, you're smoking the dude who's been beating you by 2 bike lengths, guaranteed. And if you look at his 8 fundamentals and you find out what he's doing wrong, because there's only 8 things you can do on a dirt bike, and if you can find out what he's doing wrong, you can beat him by becoming the master of one of the 8 fundamentals. If you want them 8 fundamentals, drop it below. Drop 8 fundamentals of MotoFlow below, and I'll send it to you. Hope this video helps. It's been a long one, but that's what I do. I like the bullshit with big peace, big moto love. Out, Scoob.